What's going on there, YouTube? Mekk-Knight here, and today I'm showing you my Mekk-Knight Invoked deck that I took to the San Antonio Regional in Heroes and Fantasies this past weekend. I also went to a local afterwards, a couple days afterwards, and it did really great. Went 4-0 at the locals, didn't pull a ding ding sadly, but hey, it's fine. At the tournament though, I did go 3-3-1. All three losses were to Thunder. Uh, Pretty self-explanatory. Colossus stops you from searching, and that's pretty much the heart of the deck. You need to be able to search. Winning game three in all those games, so I did put up a decent fight. Kind of sad that I didn't really be able to make top 32, but hey, it happens. I chose to go ahead and not play in permanents and play the Gamma package according to my budget. Story behind it, I had to go ahead and rebuy my deck. I drove off with it on top of my car. Don't roast me. Feel free to roast me. Whatever. Don't care. But yeah. So I had to rebuy my entire deck, and I could have gone lowest rarity, hand traps, stuff like that. A lot of stuff I already had backed up, and to replace what I needed to, I had to fork out at least $500 of my own cash, and then some trades to replace it. But when you love the game and when you have your favorite deck cores that you love playing, you'll do whatever you have to go ahead and replace them. Of course, Phantasme was the actual thing that cost me the most, but it's going to be relevant throughout the entire season, so I chose to go ahead and buy it before it spiked over 100, and I replaced the impermanences with gammas. Now, my deck is different from the actual template I was going to take originally. The original template was playing three impermanents and a card destruction. This time I'm playing three gamma and the driver. Extra deck did change a little bit, but not significantly. I did have replacements for some of the cards. Not big of an issue, but yeah, that's enough talking. Let's go straight into the deck profile. Let's put these up here for now. So of course, we are playing three Alistair, three purple, two blue, one yellow, and one indigo. Only change I would make in this lineup is playing three blue over three purple. Now I'll tell you the reasoning behind this right now. The Mekk-Knights, the way I was using them, were pretty much to bait the hand traps and negates that my opponents had before I'd try to go ahead and resolve Alistair and OTK. By having them waste all their resources like that, it pretty much lets me know I'm gonna make a purgatory and wipe their board. Um, there was a lot of times where I saw purple and I wished it was a blue because they had 2 to 3 cards in those columns. But the times that I did see the blue were really powerful. My hand got full. I was able to discard a lot to go ahead and cycle through fusions with my Alistair Link. And in my opinion, it's personal preference. But for the future, I will be playing three blue over the three purple. Two purple, fine. I usually cited one out anyways throughout the entire tournament. But yeah, so that's that lineup. Then I did play three Vishuda. Vishuda is actually really, really great. Helps break apart boards, leaves a body while I do it to make the Alistair link. And I can pull a problematic card, whether it be Colossus or just some type of back row. It allowed me to go ahead and play. So I played this. Now for the hand traps, I am playing three Ash, three Phantasme, two Ghost Ogre, three Gamma, and then the brick of the deck, the one driver. Pretty self-explanatory. There was a time where I was actually able to use Gamma 3 times in one turn. Due to a spicy tech I do play to help out Colossus, but also to stop me from being locked under Bagushka. So of course we got three Meltdown, three Invocation, three Cyclone, two Instant Fusion, and then the Spice, two Enemy Controller. Now this is very good in a lot of scenarios when you time it properly. You can go ahead, summon Alistair, and if they impermanence, or if they decide to go ahead and Widow Anchor, or even Effect Veiler at that point, enemy controller, Tribute it off. Target's no longer in the field for the effect to resolve. You get your search. Very great. And then you take a monster they control. You could even go special Bashuda, effect to bounce something, specifically targeting like the Heradic, making it be forced, activating enemy controller, tributing off the Monk, taking Colossus to get rid of two problematic cards at once. Or if they weren't playing that variant, you can go ahead and still enemy controller something. It's a Mekk-Knight. Just tribute something away and then take Colossus, link it away. Helps you play. And then, like I said, against Baguska, change it to attack. You can now use your effects. If you set it going first, you can go ahead and tribute off your Alistair you left normal summon, take control of something else. Against the Orcus matchup, which is really, really fun to use, what you do is you'll attack with Purgatrio and let them go ahead and detach off Ding Ding, and make sure that they do not go ahead and detach the skeleton first. If they do, you're pretty much in a bad spot, but majority of the time they don't, because they don't think anything bad's going to happen. So what you'll do is you'll attack into the two smallest monsters they control. Enemy controller, tribute off the Alistair link, take away the Ding Ding, continue your attacks, and Ding hits them for game. It was so great, so fun to do, and I enjoy it so much. I prefer this over Mind Control for the fact that I could use it aggressively and defensively rather than just trying to break a board apart. For draws, two desires, Foolish, and Terraforming. Now you can use Foolish in different scenarios in this deck. Say for example, you need to get rid of a problematic card, and you see Foolish. What you can do is you can summon two monsters, special Mekk-Knight, summon Alistair, go ahead, make Lamphrinkus, banish Bashuda, because you're sending it off of Foolish, and then bounce that card. Or if you see Invocation in your hand, but not Alistair, you can Foolish the Alistair, then you can resolve your plays. If you're curious as to why I'm not playing Book of the Law in the main, it is a brick. If you're forced to go first, that is something you do not want to see. You want to decide that whenever you know you're going second, and there's no way you can break their boards easily to OTK. That's the only time you should be putting in Book of the Law. Those who main it, in my opinion, are making a bad call. Granted, it might help them throughout the entire tournament. You need to see your Invocation to play. So playing 3 Invocation instead of 2 and the 1 of Book of the Law is actually the better call, especially if you get Ash Permanence Failure on your Alistair summon. If they negate his effect, you still need to see Invocation. If you see Book of the Law, it is not going to help you out in the end throughout the entire duel. For the extra deck, I am playing 1 Almirage, 1 Monk, Lamphrinkus, of course. These are the 2 normals you use. And even if you go into Lamphrinkus and start your plays, it is not bad because you can still go ahead and, just link them away. It's not that problem. It's not that big of a problem. You can go into Unicorn, you can make a Phoenix, or even use that to make your Alistair link. Sometimes I did go into Lamphrinkus and then afterwards go into Lambda. Lambda is really great. Star of the show. It was phenomenal being able to summon my Alistair, activate effect, and whenever they would activate the Ash, just Gamma. It was really fun. That's probably the one thing I did like about this build, is incorporating the Gamma in a lot of situations did become very, very helpful and helped me extend or stop my opponent from doing something that would make me want to cry. Of course, the 1 Alistair, 1 Phoenix, 1 Unicorn, and the 1 Portal Sword for OTKs. Granted, you can OTK easily. Sometimes you just need that extra push. There was one time against the Thunder player, I forgot that he had the effect that when he attacks a special summon monster, he gains half the attack and half that monster's attack. Could have actually had that game if I would remember that effect, but I forgot. And then he activated Impermanence because he had a clear board, negating my Boral Sword, so I couldn't use his effect to attack again for game. Very sad, but you learn from your mistakes. Now for my fusions, 2 Purgatrio, Um, you pretty much want to go to the first one to wipe the board, and then if you have to go in the second one later on, it's there. One Mahalanika. So this one right here, you can actually hard summon because you play the monk. Monk's Earth. So that's that. And he's also a normal, which is synergetic with Vashuda. Bench Vashuda, bounce something else. And then pretty much 3,000 to the face is pretty great. One Makaba. There was times I wish I did have the second. I'm not gonna lie, but whenever I would be forced to make a Makaba, like the first time, I was pretty much in a losing position. I only make Makaba when I know I'm going for the grind game, but if I'm forced to make Makaba because I can't make any other fusions, I'm in a bad spot. That's pretty much it. Playing one kind of hurt, but I was able to play around it, and then Purgatrio later on, or Mahayanika to go ahead and attack for a lot of damage. Big boys. One Caliga, of course, the Floodgate. If you see Caliga and Rashuda, what you can do is normal the Alistair, search Invocation, activate Invocation, make Caliga going first, and you have a Floodgate monster. Really fun. One Rajan, and then 1,000 I restrict for the infusion targets. Cute play that I actually did during the tournament was I booked a Laud into Rajin, and then I used Rajin's effect to go ahead and set something, and then continued to push for game. Um, don't remember exactly what it was that I had set, but it had a lot of attack but low defense. I can't remember the card. I really should have remembered, but it did come up like that. And even then, going when you're siding Book of the Law, infusion into this, set something. It's pretty much out whatever you need out, and then you'll just link it away or Book of the Law and into a Purgatrio. It's really fun. As of the sideboard, I was playing two Nibiru originally. I wasn't able to get the third in time, but for the local tournament, I was playing three. Seeing this was great. Saw when I saw it. And if you're curious what I had for the third Nibiru, it was a third red reboot. But yeah, we have two Penguin Tops, one Book of the Law, one extra net, pretty much a Maxi when they special summon from the extra deck. Set rotation, so you can actually end up seeing your Meltdown faster. One Summon Breaker. Summon Breaker was actually really, really fun messing around with. It would make them go ahead and go into main phase 2 so they can combo off. And by that time, I was able to make a Purgatrio afterwards and just wipe the board. It was great. One Metaverse, just for going first, go ahead and make activate Summon Breaker, or just add your Meltdown to follow up on your next turn. 3 evenly to go ahead and wipe the board, and then the last is 2 red reboot. So that is actually it for the deck. If you have any questions, feel free to go ahead and comment down below. I will answer any questions y'all have. And if it comes down to me playing this in the YCS, well, that's my list. I'll cook up something eventually. I probably will go back to playing Impermanence over the Gammas though, due to the fact that Thunder is very, very, very hard to play against that. I'm not gonna lie. The only outs in this that I had for Thunder were Econs, Instant Fusions, as well as Vashudas, which is a total of 7. And in my original list, I had 10 because 3 impermanents. So 7 compared to 10 to out Colossus, very big difference. And if I would have seen the impermanents against those matchups, I probably would have been able to top. But hey, you take it as it goes, you learn from your mistakes, and you continue playing the game. So until next time, it's Mekk-Knight signing out.